So that leads us on to The Resident, which Matt wanted to watch because it's a medical drama, Matt and I both liking ER, and there hasn't really been one outside of Bodies for me that I've gravitated to. And this one has Matt Zuckery, aka Carey from The Good Wife, who we both like.
I like how we both Googled how to say Matt Zuckery before we spoke about it this week.
I had to YouTube it. Not only could I Google it, I did Google it. Obviously, I Googled it before Plantation Shutters and Chicken Boona because it's not in the list. But I had to YouTube it to have somebody introduce him. But Matt Zuckery is
Matt Zuckery. This is created by 3 people, which is strange for a
always
US.
worrying.
Amy Holden-Jones, Hayley Shaw, and Roshan Sethi. The latter 2 worked on the medical show Code Black together, and all 3 worked on something I think it's called Black Box, which was an ABC medical drama that I don't know at all. I've never heard of. Amy Holden-Jones, though, most famous for being the screenwriter behind Beethoven, so has been living off the money for creating the characters in Beethoven and all the sequels that sort of...
we're going to say, where do you stand on, like, Beethoven Goes to College or whatever came after the...
Because she only wrote the first one, but obviously probably gets money for the characters every time there's a sequel, a straight-to-video sequel. Here's some of her credits. Slumber Party Massacre, Mystic Pizza, Made to Order, as in M-A-I-D.
Oh, I got that.
Beethoven, and Indecent Proposal. The resident in the show is Matt Zuckery's character, Conrad Hawkins, who's
I always get annoyed by the names in American shows. I've tried not to be, but that kind of... Nobody's called that in life.
He is a sort of throw caution to the wind, very sort of abrasive, like, as you say, like House. Basically,
I don't actually know.
House was brilliant, but very abrasive. I think this is a watered down House. Conrad here gets a new medical student, Devon Pravesh, who doesn't click with him at all straight away, finds him very rude, and he goes to Emily Van Camp's character, who's the nurse, one of the head nurses, I think, Nick Nevin, and tells her, I want a new resident. She does this whole analogy about mechanics.
Yes. That really grated on me as well.
I think that sums up The Resident perfectly. The other story here involves Bruce Greenwood's Dr. Randolph Bell, who's the sort of figurehead of the hospital. He's known sort of as this very prominent surgeon, but he is losing his grip, his touch. At the very start, there's this thing that happens that they all have to cover up for his negligence. He loses a patient on the table. Conrad knows that he's not what he was and says, like, basically, stop killing patients, I'm going to rat you out and things like that. At the end, we find out that he tries to do the best for his patients. He sort of gives Devon like a sort of more of a pep talk. There, he reveals that there was a little girl with cancer that he carries a photo of in his wallet that he tried to save and couldn't. So we get a little bit of softer side to him.
One of my biggest issues, aside from the clunky dialogue and the general silliness that Matt has summed up for us, I just find it frustrating that there is this trend now in dramas, both in the US and here, where the main characters are so abrasive and annoying, and you just don't want to be in their company.
Sorry to butt in, but I think, as I said there, I think that is what House was like. But they broke him down as it went on. He wasn't an arse.
Yeah, like, but I knew that they, not to quote Gary, because he would say this sort of thing, but I knew that they were going to break him down because the arsey doctor thing's been done to the nth degree. I mean, The Good Doctor, which is still a massive ratings hit over there, The Good Doctor is maybe possibly a good doctor, but he's really irritating as a person. I don't see what would be wrong with him being a nice person and us liking him. I don't, when I first got properly into ER, I just really almost immediately liked that group of people. And there are moments of silliness in that. Of course there are really stupid, silly, done for comedy moments that I don't find particularly funny, but I go along with them because the show's got its heart in the right place and the characters are really nice. This just seemed really in your face and abrasive, and it was a chore, and it shouldn't be a chore. I mean, watching telly is not a difficult job.
Linking it back to ER, I suppose what they're trying to do is do a Carter and Benton type relationship, because Benton is the abrasive one, isn't he? He's very matter of fact. He isn't a nice guy, really, is he? To start off with, Benton.
But almost.
But
you know his heart's in the right place as well.
But I think by the end of this, you got that Conrad's heart was in the right place. But I think the way Eric LaSalle played it in ER, Matt Zuckery here is sort of, it's boiled down to the bare essentials, and I don't know if that's him or the script, because we like Matt Zuckery in The Good Wife. But
even on that, he's a bit smarmy, isn't he? He's dialed up the smarm for this.
I like Emily Van Camp as well, who here again seems to be playing the sort of the nice role, the sort of, oh, he's all right, he's misunderstood.
Yeah. Did you feel compelled at all to think, I'd like to see where this goes? Though? No. That's the big question, isn't it?
No. Yeah. Nothing to make it stand out from the pack, I would say. Yeah. And I suppose they've got the big new medical drama this season with the Good Doctor, as we said. So this is probably going to get lost in the shuffle.
It's frustrating because, on the whole, medical dramas it's not a saturated market, and done well, I do quite enjoy them.
I mean, Grey's Anatomy's still going.
Yeah, but I've never actually seen an episode.
I watched the first few seasons of that when I watched it on, I think it was Sky Living, I think had it. It was all right when it started, but I think like any of these, it's when they have to start replenishing the characters. Yeah. I mean, Sandra Oh in that was the sort of abrasive. She was the star of that show for me, and I think when it was Sandra Oh and Katherine Heigl and Isaiah Washington, who left under a cloud from that show. I think I watched about the first 3 seasons of that, or 4. But it's one of those that lost quality as it went on, as most of these do. But I can't see The Resident, really, unless something miraculous happens, getting past. Maybe it'll get a second season, but I don't.
Yeah, so if you want to watch it and make up your own mind, The Resident, Wednesday nights, thanks to the billboard, on the Universal Channel.
The Universal Channel, is that Sky and Virgin?
I don't know. I don't want to Google it because
I'll Google it.
Because then Chicken Boona will move further down my list and drop off entirely.
You don't want your Boona to drop off.
No, not this early on in the week.
Let's just say yes. I know it's not on Freeview anyway, so it's not. Okay. I was just thinking it's not Universal, really. If you can't get it on Freeview,
might be on FreeSat. I don't know. I don't know, and quite frankly, it makes no difference to my life in this case.